An 18-year-old named Kelsey Smith mysteriously vanished after a routine trip to the store, capturing widespread attention from the media. The subsequent resolution of Kelsey's disappearance was aided by the crucial assistance of CCTV footage. Let's delve into the details of this intriguing case and its ultimate resolution. Born on May 3, 1989, in Overland Park, Johnson County, Kansas, Kelsey Smith was a beloved member of the Smith family, one of 5 siblings to parents Greg and Missy Smith. Having graduated from Shawnee Mission West High School on May 24, 2007, she eagerly anticipated the upcoming college experience in the fall. Kelsey was known for her outgoing and friendly nature, leaving a lasting impression on those around her. Her remarkable sense of humor endeared her to many, and she showcased her musical talents by playing the clarinet in the marching band. On June 2, 2007, Kelsey had a shift at the AMC movie theater, starting her day like any other. Unbeknownst to her, this would be a day that would alter the course of her family's life forever. That morning, her mother, Missy, bid her farewell as she left for a friend's wedding, blissfully unaware that it would be the last time she would see her daughter alive. Little did they know that tragedy was about to strike, casting a shadow over their lives. Having completed her morning shift without any notable incidents, Kelsey, who was driving a car gifted by her parents, decided to make the most of her day. After work, she rendezvoused with her father and sister, Lindsay, and together they enjoyed a memorable visit to an amusement park. Despite the joyous moments, the day took an unfortunate turn. Around 6 p.m., Kelsey expressed her intention to go shopping. She extended an invitation to her sister to join her, but Lindsay declined. Undeterred, Kelsey set out alone, heading to the nearest Target department store. Prior to her departure, she shared her plans with her father, Greg, expressing her love for him. Greg, a devoted police officer deeply attached to his children, bid her farewell, unaware that this ordinary exchange would precede an unforeseen and tragic turn of events. The family had received valuable lessons in basic self-defense techniques, emphasizing the importance of safety precautions. Following this guidance, about an hour into her shopping excursion, Kelsey called her mother, who was en route home from a friend's wedding. They exchanged brief pleasantries and made plans to reunite at home. As the evening progressed, John, Kelsey's boyfriend, arrived at the Smith residence. John was a person who had earned Greg's confidence, frequently spending time with the family. There was a shared belief that their relationship had the potential to develop into something more meaningful. On that particular night, Kelsey, with the intention of purchasing a gift for John, ventured to the store. However, when John attempted to reach her via phone, his calls went unanswered. Growing concerned, he made his way to her house, only to find that Kelsey was nowhere to be found. Growing increasingly anxious, Greg repeatedly called his daughter, but each attempt went unanswered. As a seasoned policeman, he endeavored to maintain a semblance of calm, yet the worry intensified with every passing minute. Desperate for answers, Greg reached out to Kelsey's friends, hoping someone could shed light on her whereabouts. However, nobody had any information, and the mystery deepened as to why Kelsey was unresponsive to calls and texts, an unusual behavior for her. Kelsey, unlike her peers, always kept her family informed, even if she were running just a few minutes behind. Faced with the unsettling silence, John and Kelsey's sister, Lindsay, took matters into their own hands. They climbed into a car and began driving through the area, desperately hoping to spot Kelsey or her car, intensifying the search in the absence of any clues. Concerned about the possibility of an accident or an encounter with the police, John and Lindsay initiated a thorough search, starting with the parking lots of various stores. Their worries heightened as they considered potential scenarios such as a police pullover for speeding. Their search led them to a parking lot where they spotted Kelsey's Buick, contrary to her earlier indication of heading to the Target store. John cautiously inspected the car, but Kelsey was nowhere to be found. Lindsay promptly contacted her father, Greg, informing him of the discovery. In response, Greg urged them not to disturb anything around the car, recognizing the importance of preserving it as a potential crime scene. Understanding that any evidence left there could be crucial, Greg promptly contacted the police to report his daughter's disappearance and provide them with the concerning details. Following the official launch of the investigation, detectives swiftly arrived at the location where John and Lindsay had discovered Kelsey's car. The first puzzling detail that caught everyone's attention, including Greg, was that her car wasn't in the target parking lot as she had initially indicated. Instead, it was situated next to another store in a dimly lit section of the parking lot. The detectives meticulously combed through the car, hopeful of finding any clues that could lead to Kelsey's whereabouts. However, their search yielded limited results. Inside the vehicle, they discovered only a package of gift wrapping paper and the gift Kelsey had purchased for her boyfriend, John. The absence of any signs of a struggle, traces of blood, or other indicators of foul play left investigators perplexed. The car offered no immediate evidence of a crime, intensifying the mystery surrounding Kelsey's disappearance. The keys were discovered beneath the driver's seat, adding another layer of intrigue to the situation. However, the detective's attention was drawn to something particularly odd and suspicious: a piece of fabric resembling a t-shirt protruding from the trunk. Filled with a sense of unease, Greg cautiously opened the trunk, only to find it empty. Kelsey was nowhere to be found. Although Kelsey had purchased a gift for John at Target, indicating her presence there at some point, the forensic experts uncovered a perplexing detail during their thorough examination of the car. A thumbprint on the seatbelt stood out, yet it didn't match Kelsey's nor belong to anyone with authorized access to the vehicle. As a recent high school graduate with plans to attend the University of Kansas to pursue a career as a veterinarian, Kelsey was known for her exemplary academic record and vibrant spirit. Her mysterious disappearance cast a shadow over the promising future she had ahead. In their quest for answers, Kelsey's family, devastated by the sudden turn of events, awaited any developments in the ongoing police investigation. Despite the presence of an unidentified fingerprint, the absence of other evidence suggested that Kelsey's car might not be the scene of a crime. It appeared as though someone had simply abandoned the vehicle in that parking lot. Determined to uncover more details about Kelsey's disappearance, the detectives turned their attention to Target, hoping that CCTV footage could provide answers to lingering questions. Upon arriving at the store, which had already closed around 11 p.m., the officers located someone who granted them access and facilitated their review of the surveillance recordings. Spending several hours scrutinizing the monitors, they meticulously traced every move Kelsey made during her trip to the store. However, the footage revealed nothing out of the ordinary, leaving investigators puzzled about the circumstances surrounding Kelsey's sudden disappearance. Having located the item she needed, Kelsey proceeded to make the purchase and then headed to the parking lot. The CCTV footage from the store portrayed a seemingly uneventful scenario. No signs of trouble or distress were apparent. Throughout her time in the store, Kelsey maintained a composed demeanor, exhibiting no indications of quarrels or conversations with others. Calm and unaccompanied, she exited the store, leaving behind a puzzling absence of clues as to what might have transpired after her departure. However, a perplexing detail emerged from the footage. After Kelsey entered her car, she, for reasons unknown, drove in the opposite direction from her home. This raised several crucial questions. Why did Kelsey deviate from her intended route home? Was she the one driving the car? Could she have chosen to conceal herself willingly? Before dawn, Greg and Missy found themselves at the police station, where detectives posed various inquiries. Drawing on his knowledge as a policeman, Greg understood the necessity of this standard procedure. In cases like these, detectives seek to eliminate the possibility of family involvement in the crime. Greg and Missy cooperated, recognizing that swift responses to these questions would expedite the process of clearing them as suspects, allowing the police to redirect their focus towards other leads in the ongoing investigation. The couple cooperated fully, providing answers to all the questions posed by the detectives. With Kelsey's parents ruled out as suspects, the focus of the investigation shifted to her boyfriend, John. Given that Kelsey had spent a significant amount of her recent free time with him, and he was the last person she had been in contact with, it was imperative to ascertain his whereabouts leading up to the moment he informed Kelsey's father about the communication issues. They posed similar questions in varied ways, keenly observing his responses to uncover any potential discrepancies or changes in his narrative. The questioning stretched over a period of approximately 2 hours, during which John consistently asserted his innocence in Kelsey's disappearance and maintained that their relationship was sound. He willingly responded to all inquiries and permitted the detectives to scrutinize the contents of his phone. The officers, leaning towards the belief that John may not be involved, found no immediate evidence to implicate him in Kelsey's vanishing act. However, cautious not to prematurely eliminate any possibilities, John remained on the list of potential suspects. Feeling the urgency to take action, Kelsey's family initiated their own unofficial investigation. Greg understood the critical importance of time in such cases. With each passing hour, the likelihood of finding Kelsey alive diminished. Joining forces with Missy and John, they rallied individuals willing to assist and organized them into groups to comb through the area in a concerted effort to search for any clues that could lead to Kelsey's whereabouts. Each volunteer took a stack of printed missing person flyers and traversed the relevant streets, diligently inquiring if anyone had seen Kelsey. Simultaneously, Greg utilized radio stations to appeal for airtime, sharing the details of his daughter's disappearance, and urging those with pertinent information to reach out to either the police or the Smith family. Within an hour of the radio broadcasts, TV channels picked up the story, further disseminating information about Kelsey in the news and enhancing the prospects of locating her swiftly. The collaborative effort extended beyond family and friends as Kelsey's classmates joined the search. Together, they systematically went door to door, hoping to uncover any piece of information that might prove vital to the investigation. The objective was to gather details that residents might have overheard or observed, something seemingly innocuous at first glance but potentially valuable for the ongoing search. Meanwhile, a crucial question lingered for the police. Where was Kelsey during the 3 hours between leaving Target and the discovery of her car by John and Lindsay? This puzzle formed the central part of the investigation, necessitating answers to piece together the timeline of events leading up to Kelsey's disappearance. To unravel the mystery surrounding Kelsey's whereabouts during those crucial 3 hours, investigators once again turned to surveillance cameras. The parking lot where Kelsey's car was discovered belonged to another store, fortunately equipped with its own set of cameras. However, the recordings were marred by poor quality and inadequate lighting in that section of the parking lot, rendering the detectives unable to discern any details that might shed light on Kelsey's movements. The footage revealed her car entering the dimly lit area of the parking lot, with headlights extinguishing shortly afterward. Subsequently, a figure emerged from the vehicle and departed, appearing only as a silhouette. The indistinct nature of the recording left the police disheartened. On the contrary, Kelsey's family found a glimmer of hope in this development, maintaining a belief that she had no reason to conceal herself. For them, the paramount concern was to find Kelsey alive, and they clung to the optimism that emerged from this challenging situation. With no new leads emerging, the police decided to re-examine the surveillance footage from Target, this time utilizing improved monitors. The detectives meticulously reviewed every move Kelsey made inside the store, hoping to uncover any potential clues. However, the footage showed nothing out of the ordinary. Kelsey appeared to conduct herself like any other customer, purchasing necessary items before exiting the store. Despite the initial lack of suspicious activity, the detectives, armed with better monitors, identified a potentially crucial detail in the recordings. After leaving the store, Kelsey headed to the parking lot, opened the back door of her car to stow away the purchased items, and then proceeded to the driver's door. This specific sequence of actions raised questions about what transpired in that moment, and whether it held the key to understanding Kelsey's subsequent disappearance. Even in the face of poor recording quality, the detectives honed in on this suspicious detail, hoping it could provide a breakthrough in the case. At that critical moment, investigators noticed a blurry spot that flashed after Kelsey. The police began to suspect that she might have been attacked when she entered her car, suggesting a potential abduction. The investigators repeatedly scrutinized the recording, attempting to decipher the sequence of events. Unfortunately, the viewing angle and recording quality presented challenges, preventing them from comprehending the full picture. In the approximately 15 seconds it took for the door to close and the car to exit the parking lot, the investigators speculated that an assailant may have targeted Kelsey. This raised the unsettling possibility that she might not have been the one behind the wheel, or that someone had coerced her into a different direction. Reluctantly, the detectives had to convey this distressing information to Kelsey's parents, informing them that their daughter was likely the victim of an abduction. With only a video recording capturing the moment of the abduction at their disposal, the police faced the challenge of identifying the perpetrator, who was obscured by a white t-shirt and dark shorts. In a renewed effort, investigators revisited the target's CCTV footage, specifically searching for an individual matching this description. To their surprise, they discovered something they had overlooked before: a man wearing a white t-shirt and dark shorts consistently trailing Kelsey. He maintained a discreet distance to avoid arousing suspicion, but his presence was unwavering. It became evident that this man had been following Kelsey closely, and as she approached the checkout to pay for her goods, he casually made his way towards the exit. The revelation painted a clearer picture of a potential threat that Kelsey had been unaware of, a disturbing confirmation of the sinister intentions behind her abduction. Clearly, the man had exited the store ahead of Kelsey, positioning himself in the parking lot to await her. In subsequent efforts, the police successfully obtained a clearer image of his face, though the quality wasn't flawless. Nevertheless, they hoped that the community could aid in identifying this person and enlisted their help. The response was overwhelming, with over 1,000 calls pouring in, each potentially holding a lead. Sorting through this massive amount of data proved time-consuming, as detectives worked diligently to filter out information unrelated to the case. Despite interrogating several individuals resembling the man in question, none turned out to be the elusive suspect they sought. A breakthrough in the case occurred when the police successfully tracked Kelsey's phone after her disappearance. The device signaled activity in a wooded area near Longview Lake, Missouri, approximately 15 miles from target. This critical information opened new avenues for the investigation, as law enforcement intensified efforts to locate Kelsey and apprehend the person responsible for her abduction. By this point, the FBI had joined the investigation, spearheading a search in the area where Kelsey's phone had last been active. Approximately 200 people participated in the search effort. Tragically, 4 days after her abduction and just 45 minutes after her cell phone company provided crucial information about her phone activity, Kelsey was discovered. Regrettably, she was found deceased, concealed under leaves and tree branches in an attempt to obliterate traces of the crime. Kelsey's nudity, coupled with her belongings positioned a few feet away, unveiled the motive behind this heinous act. A forensic examination determined that she had succumbed to strangulation, shedding light on the tragic circumstances surrounding her untimely death. The investigation continued, delving into the details surrounding her abduction and subsequent demise. The perpetrator tragically used Kelsey's own belt to end her life, delivering the most heart-wrenching news to her parents. The devastating announcement reverberated through her family and friends, casting a somber shadow over their lives. The urgency to apprehend the criminal heightened, as the looming fear of potential future abductions gripped the community. With only CCTV footage as a primary investigative tool, the investigators revisited the recordings, determined to unearth any overlooked details. Aware that Kelsey's car had been abandoned in the parking lot at 9:17 p.m., the officers focused on scrutinizing the events unfolding in the target parking lot during the same time frame. This meticulous examination aimed to extract any valuable information that could lead them closer to the elusive perpetrator. Upon closer examination of the CCTV footage, Investigators observed a man hastily approaching a dark pickup truck parked in the Target parking lot, swiftly entering the vehicle and speeding away. The timestamp indicated 9:22 p.m., but the possibility of it being a coincidental event unrelated to the case lingered. However, the investigators delved deeper, considering the likelihood that the driver of the pickup truck had arrived during daylight hours. Upon rewinding the recording, their suspicions were confirmed. The blue pickup truck had indeed entered the Target parking lot at 6:55 p.m. A minute later, Kelsey arrived, parking next to this very truck, a sinister coincidence that might have marked the first encounter between Kelsey and her abductor. Armed with this revelation, the police released images of the pickup truck and the man following Kelsey, hoping that someone in the community would recognize and come forward with valuable information. The release of images from the Target parking lot prompted a response from the community, as individuals called the police station claiming to know the man in the picture. 2 callers identified him as Edwin Hall, one as a colleague and the other as a friend. Both provided consistent details, stating that Hall was a 26-year-old married man with a son who owned a pickup truck. Further investigations into Hall's background revealed a juvenile record stemming from a threat he made to his adoptive sister with a bread knife at the age of 15. Although Hall lacked adult convictions, the police considered this history while building their case. Concerned that he might attempt to evade capture once his image circulated in the news, the police swiftly proceeded to Hall's residence. Upon arriving, they observed Hall packing belongings into his car, presumably preparing to leave with his family. Intercepting him before he could escape, the police arrested Edwin Hall and transported him to the police station for questioning. During interrogation, Hall vehemently denied any involvement in the disappearance and death of Kelsey Smith, asserting that he didn't even know who she was. However, the incontrovertible evidence from the Target CCTV footage painted a different picture, revealing Hall's presence as he followed Kelsey closely. The police pressed forward, determined to uncover the truth behind Kelsey's tragic fate. When confronted with the evidence from the recording, Edwin Hall reluctantly admitted that he had watched Kelsey due to an attraction to her legs. Despite this admission, he persisted in denying any contact with Kelsey after she left the store. In an effort to eliminate himself as a suspect, Hall agreed to provide the police with his DNA sample and fingerprints, confident that he had left no incriminating trace. However, the forensic analysis revealed a stark contrast to Hall's beliefs. His thumbprint matched the one found on the seatbelt in Kelsey's car, directly linking him to the abduction and death of Kelsey Smith. Confronted with this undeniable evidence, the police were resolute in their conviction that Hall was the perpetrator. Aware of the fingerprint match, Hall, anticipating the potential consequences, opted not to wait for the DNA results and chose to confess to the crime. In an attempt to avoid the death penalty, Hall agreed to divulge all the details of the heinous act he committed. He revealed that his infatuation with Kelsey began when he saw her in the Target parking lot. He followed her while she shopped and waited for the opportune moment when she returned to her car. Subsequently, he brandished a gun, assaulted her, and forced her into her car, driving her to a wooded area outside the city. There, he instructed Kelsey to undress and ultimately took her life out of fear that she might disclose the incident. Hall then concealed Kelsey's body under branches and leaves before returning to his routine. He abandoned Kelsey's car in a nearby parking lot, returned to Target where he had previously parked his pickup truck, and then proceeded home. The chilling confession brought a semblance of closure to the investigation but left a community grappling with the tragic loss of a young life. In September 2008, Edwin Hall was found guilty on all counts, and during the trial, he expressed remorse, apologizing to Kelsey's family. The court sentenced him to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Over the 16 years since Kelsey's passing, she has become the symbol of a movement advocating for telecommunications providers to be responsive in emergency situations. This is particularly relevant as GPS and cell phone technology continually advance and evolve. Kelsey's legacy lives on as a catalyst for positive change in ensuring swift responses during critical situations.